I think we have Mr. Anil Agarwal with us. It was just trying to wonder whether he's patched in or not. Mr. Agarwal, morning. Thanks so much for taking time out, sir. I understand you've had to wake up in the wee hours. Thanks really for making it an exception.
He always give a wake up call, so this is good. Nice, nice to be on your channel.
Okay, great.
Uh,
Thank you so much. And, we've also been staying up early today because of these trade wars, and the gong has been sounded now by the US. We're talking about two of the biggest trading countries at war. Given that one of them is the biggest producer and consumer of commodities, what's going to halt the rally that we witnessed in metals in 2016 and 17? And is this going to be the big trigger, or do you think this is just a very temporary phase and it will resurrect eventually?
I think a bit of a both, and I'm really not worried about the price. I'm really not worried about the price. India is a very different situation. Price in the commodities, 7 to 10% plus and minus is pretty normal. 7 to 10% if you see last 10 years, it goes up and down. I don't see any the less consumption in China. Also, the on top of it, the India is coming, and India is a very different position. You have also seen the crude. Crude is also around $70. Zinc around 1 to 2% down. Aluminum, I fully agree with you, 7 to 10% varying. Zinc also 2%. Because if you see, there is no new mine is opening in the world. Very difficult to open a new mine. So I don't foresee any reason there is a pressure on the price. Also on the consumption, if you see the stock, if you see last 10 years the stock, we are pretty good shape as far as the stocks are concerned. So I definitely agree. The trend is going where every country is protecting their own position. America, which was a broader mind, now this is first America. So this is very different thing is coming. Same thing probably in Europe. Everybody is looking their country first. So that's sort of a war going on, and I think people should be more broader mind. At the same time, India has to learn from this to give a protection to the industry. India has a tremendous potential. I was the one always talking about that to eradicate poverty. It's very important to support the Indian natural resource sector because we are branded. If you see our geology, we are one of the best geology in the world, but we have no exploration, we have no investment, and no production is coming. Almost 200 to 300 billion dollar worth of import being made. So this is my take.
Morning, Mr. Agarwal. Nikunj Dalmia also joining in from the Mumbai studio. Once again, sincere, thanks for joining us on the show live. I know these are VRs for you. I wanted to also understand the supply side dynamics for the metals sector. You said no new mines are coming, but let's take crude for example. But if crude stays at $50 barrel plus, there could be new capacity which will get added. A lot of deep water wells which below $50, below $55 are commercially not very viable to be drilled. They could start adding capacity. Also, currently the oil market is controlled between OPEC and the non-OPEC countries. So do you think with oil prices going higher, the supply dynamics could change?
No, very good question. You have to have a two side. One is you have to look at Indian perspective, and one is you have to look at the global perspective. I agree with you in terms of the price goes up above 70, the new investment may come, but it's not a child's play. Once you start thinking of deep water, once you start thinking of a new investment, it's a cycle of 4 to 5 years time. So even there is a reserve of oil. By the time you make a decision, get the investment, and start putting hole in the ground. It takes long time. So at the moment, I don't see anywhere where people are very aggressively driving the new production. So, I fully agree that the price stay at 70 goes up. There will be people will make effort to make a new production. But India is a very different. So 18% of the population of the world. We have 70 billion barrel declared reserve in the ground, and we import 85% of our oil. The largest import going to be in India. The whole world is looking India, India, India. Very unfortunate position where everybody want to supply to India. If you see everybody's presentation, they will show that their market going to be India. So this is, and India should produce their own oil. Cane, if you look at cane produce, you will be surprised at $6, which is the lowest in the world. And we produce sweet crude. We produce sulfur-free crude, and that is our natural position. And we are the only people after apart from ONGC who produce oil. So this is, you have to break up into two. One is definitely you give world scenario. But as far as the India is concerned, this is alarming situation whereby government has to completely, and this government, where else apart from this government, completely liberalize, apart from environmental, where they see the environment, we have to keep the highest standard. There is no approval required. Whatever is required, please make it a red carpet, people to come and produce oil in this country and the gas.
Thank you for outlining that. And before I get into specific questions about your India plans, I just want to understand your understanding of the global metal demand scenario. We've discussed supply side. You said no large capacity additions are coming up, no large mines are coming up, no large wells are coming up, because it is not easy to start capacities overnight. It is not a child's play. But what is your understanding of the demand, Mr. Agarwal? Given that global economy is doing okay, demand from Europe and US has stabilized, China also is picking up. What is your take on metal demand, and within the metals which you currently are present in, the non-ferrous part largely, which metal demand are you most bullish on?
See, if you see the scenario, if you look at zinc, apart from two or three companies, there is no mine available in zinc. Zinc is the application of zinc overall. If you see, the demand supply gap is about 2.5%. Everywhere zinc application is going up because people are more aware, because earlier they used to use naked steel. Now everybody want to use the galvanized steel, because the infrastructure, it has been recommended not to use naked steel, use galvanized, so it can last longer. The life of steel goes 100% more than the naked steel. So the huge trend to use the galvanized, and then the pharmaceutical, even the healthcare, the zinc application is enhancing. So zinc, I'm number one item which I'm very bullish. Number two, copper. Copper is very, very important. You see the copper will rally. There is no question. Copper has the greatest demand. No new mines are coming. In our Anglo, I'm a 21% partner in Anglo, and we are looking to invest $3.5 billion in Peru. And it is the most darling project of the world. So this is one of the projects which is coming in, and it will take long time. It will take 3, 4, 5 years, three years at least, project to come. So copper is also, I can see the China is not going down. And once the India open up, everybody is looking up how the India will open up. So I'm looking the copper to remain there. Aluminum is a natural material for India. I definitely, because of the China, they built huge capacity, and there's a pressure, some pressure on aluminum. But India has to support the aluminum industry, because in the world, the aluminum is the most natural project or natural commodity to produce in India. Aluminum, I definitely if even if you look at the cost, average cost to produce aluminum is about $2,100. So this price I don't see is going to come down. And after Trump putting on this duty on aluminum, now what he's aiming, the local aluminum, some of this smelter to open up. So this is my view in general on the commodity what we produce.
It's great to get in this perspective, really, Mr. Agarwal, from you, and who better than you actually to tell us which metal is actually going to perform how. But tell me something, for you at Vedanta, which has operations in UK, Africa, Australia, as well as Asia, what are the implications of these protectionist measures by US and China? What are your key worries right now? Is it higher cost, or is it restrained demand? Or is it dumping by other countries in the region, like maybe a Japan or a Korea?
I have a very different position. I have a position which I'm the only natural resource producer, the largest natural resource producer in India. Everybody is looking at my face and telling me how step by step you are where you are in India. I am in Africa, I'm in all over, but my heart and my focus is India. Every natural resource company has a brand. If you look at BHP, though they have a global business, but 80% business outside Australia, but they always be branded as an Australian company. If you look at Vale, they will always be branded as a Brazilian company. If you look at even British Petroleum, they only have a 7% business in UK, but they will be branded as a British company. Same way, no matter where I will always be branded as an Indian company. And they always say you are the bravest person, the way you have opened up India, the way you stand by with so much of NGOs, so much of government rule, and you open up, and today we are where we are, where everybody is saying that India is opening up, let's go and invest in India, because India is the market which is nowhere in the world. 50% of their import is a natural resource, and we have always said why we are creating job outside India, and getting the material here, whether it's a gold, whether it's a oil, whether it's a copper, everything. We are creating job outside and bringing this metal to India. And how can we eradicate our poverty and create job? We have to be very strong, very liberal, because I can see it's a geological survey saying that we have everything on the ground and the best quality. Is only required the government policy encouraging people to come and invest, and making money, making profit is not sin. So once they get a message, this is the best place India in the world, I can tell you, this is the best spot, India, where they can come and produce this metal and natural resource in India. So I'm definitely bullish. I can talk all over the world. I can take each country and tell you what is the position. But I would like to say, my heart, I will be always be focusing. India, Vedanta will be always be branded as an Indian company. And I'm so conscious. You have no idea. All the time I'm saying, my people, the governance should be highest. We have been targeted. People are looking at us to make sure we have environmental practices, which is one of the world best. So people can look at no matter what happens. So we are going step by step, and I definitely overhaul, very bullish, not very bullish, but balanced as far as the prices are concerned internationally. But I'm very excited for developing these businesses in India.
No, one can't really deny how committed you have been to India and, really creating more jobs in the country. But the point that I was trying to ask Mr. Agarwal, the key worry in the current scenario for you, is it going to be higher costs or a restrained demand, and also a fear of dumping into the country by some of the other countries in the region?
Yeah, I'm not worried on the price as far as Vedanta is concerned, because we are the lowest cost of producer in the world. You will be surprised, we are the lowest cost of producer of iron ore. By and large, we are going to be first quartile of aluminum. We have abundant coal, and I'm looking forward bauxite to come. So we will be if this both is available to us, which will be the lowest cost of producer of aluminum. Zinc, we are the lowest cost of producer. Silver, we are the only producer in the country, and we are one of the lowest, fourth largest producer of silver in India. We have, as you know, we have a business in South Africa, Namibia. There also, our cost has definitely come down. It's not as comparable as India, but overall, Vedanta, I'm very bullish. As far as international market is concerned, it will be very, very like every country will look at what is in for me. Like America is looking, and I'm urging the Indian government, and this no other there cannot be better government than this government, to keep looking, and wherever necessary, please support Indian industry like aluminum. I've never seen two type of import duty. If you import scrap, there is a 2.5% duty, and if you import aluminum, there is a 7.5% duty. So you encourage aluminum scrap to come into the country, whereby huge capacity of aluminum is available. You will be surprised, half of the aluminum we are exporting out of India.
Okay, Mr. Agarwal, very quickly, I know we've extended our appointment with you in these early morning hours, so I don't want to keep you awake for so long. So far, you've bid for Monnet Ispat and Electro steel casting, and you've not got, and your bids were not very aggressive. Now that there could be rebidding for SR steel, would you be interested? Are you preparing for aggressive bid?
And we didn't apply for the Monnet. We applied for the Electro steel. And we have given very generous offer. Because I like Jharkhand, the Chief Minister Raghuvar Prasad is a very aggressive and very modern thinking. So and I come from that area. So I was interested in Jharkhand to build the plant, and I was very fair, and I put in the best of offer. And I'm going to create downstream, I'm going to create more job and expand the capacity as far as electro steel is come, if they take in in our favor. As far as the SR, I have not heard, I've been hearing that they are going to rebid, which is very unfortunate, because the time is wasted. But whatever happened, I don't think, I have not looked at, but we are very keen to bid for this plant.
No, I'm sorry, I missed the last part. You said you're not very keen to bid for SR, or are you keen to bid for SR?
No, we are not very keen, because I'm not in the steel sector. It's definitely a little bit of new line for me. I'm more of a below the ground than the above the ground. So, but this is, I'm saying, my top of the head. We haven't taken a decision. We have to discuss on the board. But as far as today is concerned, we are focusing on electro steel, and let's see how things develop. But my very take, we are not keen to bid for the SR.
Frankly,
and I also definitely want the existing owner also find a policy. Yeah, so existing owner also should get a chance to bid for that.
Okay. Okay, that's a different topic and that's a different debate, but we leave it there, Mr. Agarwal. Once again, on behalf of everyone from ET Now, thank you for accommodating this interview request. These are VRs for you, and that was Anil Agarwal, man who needs no introduction whatsoever. I mean, he's really created magic in the Indian metal sector. He exclusively spoke to ET Now. He got up almost at 4:30 in the morning to accommodate this interview request. So thank you once again, Mr. Agarwal. Okay, markets. While we were, understanding all the aspects for Vedanta and the global metal companies because of trade war, Indian markets, they've stopped falling. Siddharth Botra, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What are you doing today? Are you using the decline? Are you